Hi, I'm Sean.
I'm Rhonda.
It's a normal part of marriage that we have issues that we need to discuss. And when we do, you want to make sure that you're a good listener, being able to hear your spouse well.
You know, our spouse needs to be working on presenting well, and we typically try really hard, or we hear this from couples, but we still mess up. So how can we as a listener kind of keep things moving so that we're able to really communicate to our spouse, your issue, your topic is really important to me right now.
We need to be able to hear their heart. We want to listen in a patient way. So sometimes it may take our spouse a little bit of time to get that communicated, and we need to be patient with them.
If our spouse is monologuing, we can always say, hey, could you summarize that for me?
Give me the headlines.
I'm getting lost in all these words. These are helpful things. We don't have to shame the spouse, but we can encourage. We can also listen attentively. We're really focused, contact with the eyes, looking in the face, not doing things on the phone. So our spouse has our full focus.
And make sure that we're also asking questions and that we understand and are following them completely.
Can you tell me more? Wow, I appreciate you sharing that. Questions that don't put me in the spotlight as the listener, but that help the speaker, be able to continue sharing what we need to hear in this moment.
And restating what we heard our spouse say to make sure that we aren't misunderstanding anything is really good.
We can find something agreeable about what our spouse is sharing. We don't have to agree. We don't have to say, well, that's the way I feel too. But we can respect that my spouse is going to have a different perspective. So I can say things like, I can see that means a lot to you. I can understand this was really important. Wow, it means a lot that you would share this with me.
We want to make sure that we're taking turns. We don't need to, have one spouse that's always the speaker and the other one's always the listener. And we make sure that we're bouncing back and forth.
And when our spouse is the speaker, we need to wait for our turn. We can't both be the speaker at the same time. So if you're the listener, you want to think, I have something to say about my side of this, but since we can't both share our side at the same time, I'm going to wait till it's my turn.
Be able to show genuine interest in what your spouse is sharing. It may not be the thing that is most important to you, but they're bringing it up to you because of how important it is to them.
And if it's important to my spouse, it really should be important to me.
Don't give advice unless you're requested to do so. Sometimes we can have a fix-it mentality and we want to fix everything our spouse is presenting, but sometimes we just need to hear them out.
Sometimes our spouse just needs to vent, just needs somebody to care. I have these thoughts and feelings. They may already know what they're going to do. They just need you to partner with them as they journey through it.
And being able to empathize with your spouse with statements such as, that makes sense, or I can see why you would feel that way.
Side with your spouse. They may need emotional support. Like we said, it doesn't mean you're agreeing with them, but it does mean you got their back and you're there to support them through it.
Feeling like that we're dealing with something as a couple, dealing with the issue. We're together dealing with this other issue instead of the issue is between us.
In addition to looking in your spouse's eyes, you might turn and face them, but also you can touch, because that can give a comforting feel and be like, I'm here for you.
Wow, that's so good. And being able to validate your spouse, whatever they're sharing, validating their thoughts and feelings.
When our spouse is sharing negative feelings, that can be challenging. A lot of times we engage over the positive, maybe the neutral feelings, but the negative side that our spouse might deal with is also in that picture.
Tell me more. What are you feeling?
Right.
Those are good examples of questions or statements that you can make.
And we need to be able to deal with their sadness, their fear, their anger. But a lot of times people shut down when they hear those negative emotions.
There's several things here that can help you to be a better listener when your spouse is bringing up an issue. What can you do to be a better listener?